Hello and welcome to another episode of Clarifying Christianity. I'm Jono.
And I'm Barrick, and here at Clarifying Christianity we have three goals. The first is to respond, the second is to equip, and the third is to encourage. Jono, what do those mean?
We want to respond because guess what? We don't have all the answers. Heck, we don't have most of the answers, but we want to engage in topics around the faith of Christianity and hopefully bring some clarity to them while equipping you to do the same, to have ongoing conversations as we all continue to listen and learn about these topics together. But ultimately to encourage you so that it's not just more information or knowledge about Jesus, but a deeper relationship with Jesus. That's the goal. Yep. That's always been the goal. That's never not the goal. That's what we want and hope and pray for you if you're watching. So today we're going to try to clarify a term in Christianity. What term would that be, Barry?
Oh, it is salvation.
Salvation.
Wow, you've probably heard that word if you've been around church a whole bunch.
A million times.
Easily. It is talked about a lot, and we may not specifically know exactly what it means. But just to clarify it really easily, the most easy English word for us to use, parallel, would be the word rescue.
Rescue. And synonymous with that is set free.
Oh, yeah.
If you look up, like, what does salvation actually mean, Google and everything else will probably just tell you it's like rescue, set free. Yeah. Now, I like those two words, and I actually think they communicate two different things. Yeah. See, everything translated from Greek already is a translation of a word that we may not have the exact word for. Mm-hmm. And a lot of times they made up words for what Jesus did because it was like, we've never seen anything like it. And so the English words we use, rescue and set free, I think are actually really beautiful because to be rescued would imply that you were in some dire situation and were in or are currently in, and you've been removed from that, lifted from that. I think of like a helivac coming out over the ocean and like you've been stranded at night. You felt like the sharks bump your leg. Terrifying situation. And when that ladder comes down, just imagine that feeling you'd have. Oh my gosh, right? To be rescued from that.
Or that's a great one.
Terrifying.
Here's another one that maybe you could imagine. This is a real story. This is real. There were an entire nation of people that were enslaved, like literal slaves, for 400 years. All they knew was being slaves, being told what to do all the time, not being able to control or determine anything about their own life. And then God comes in and he rescues them from that. He sends someone and then creates all these signs, and a lot of cool stuff happens. And then basically this group of people that have been enslaved their whole life get set free. They get away from the Egyptian nation, and then they find themselves trying to get away. Wow. And then, you know what happens? They get stuck in a big old river, and the Egyptians are very upset that they're trying to leave. So they're stuck between this river that they can't cross and this army that wants to kill them. And then God does the impossible. He rescues them again by splitting the waters and letting Israel walk through on dry ground, and then close them up, and then the waters up, and Israel was free. God set the Israelites free.
Oh, that's the story we're talking about.
Yeah,
it took me forever.
I know. I know. It was
like, who are we talking about?
What story is that?
Who are these people?
Yeah. No, but that ends up being kind of all of our stories in a way. And how is that, Jonna?
Well, rescued because salvation means that we've been rescued from what was. We like to say that you've died to the old. Right? What is it? Corinthians, it says, the old has gone away, the old has died, and the new has come.
Yep.
And that is through salvation alone, and that salvation is in trusting and in having faith in Jesus.
Yep.
And so there's a verse in 1 Peter I really love. It says, you love him even though you have never seen him. Keyword love. It's not just you know about him. No, you love Jesus though you've never seen him. And though you do not see him now, you trust him. And you rejoice with a glorious, inexpressible joy. The reward for trusting him will be the salvation of your souls. He talks earlier about the faith we have in Jesus through even really difficult times. And so if you put together this genuine love for Jesus, this trust in him, and this faith in him, we receive salvation. This setting, this rescuing from what was, and this setting free for what is. Like we live a new life because of salvation. So salvation grants you this freedom to go live the way God wanted you to live from the beginning.
Yep.
And to live in ways that reflect him here on earth, that bring his kingdom here on earth, allow other people to see him as well. so that they might receive salvation for their souls.
Absolutely. And this salvation, it is super free. It is literally, like, we don't do anything to get this at all. Like, it is completely because of what God has done and continues to do in this world. But very specifically, it is because of God becoming a human, putting on flesh, becoming a human, but still fully God, and then living on this earth, and then dying in our place because choosing to not follow God kind of results in not so great stuff.
It says the wages of sin is death.
Yeah, wages of sin is death in Romans. It's not great.
Talk about something you need to be rescued from and set free from.
Yes, indeed. And so Jesus, he died and then he was resurrected. And as he died and was resurrected, we have died to our old ways and been resurrected with Christ. We have been saved with Christ.
Right. Whosoever believes in him will not perish but have eternal life.
Yep. Absolutely.
Classic John 3:16. So
indeed.
Can't talk about salvation without talking about John 3:16.
That's true.
Boom. Right. Hey, that's all we got for you. Hope this helps. Salvation is a wonderful thing.
Yes, it is.
If you have any questions, comment, message, you know the drill.
All that. Bye, everyone.
See ya.